Forest, Scout, Engineer, and Kraken all going to be banned out here. So definitely not some of the bans that you would expect going back a few months with Scout and Kraken bans. I love how these new heroes have been emerging onto the metagame though, and especially Kraken. People really consider him to be a super top tier hero right now, with being able to win his lane in almost all situations and then still being able to team fight very early, which is the name of the game.
Yep, definitely. And he has very good synergy with probably the most popular carry hero in the game right now, which is Hag. And it's not only in the early game or in the mid game, it's just a very good overall synergy. You can have the Kraken up front, he can take the damage, and that gives Hag an easy time to set up her Bat Blast. And on top of that, he also has a Kraken hold, which really sets up the Bat Blast as well. It's just very good synergy between the two heroes.
It certainly is, and well, Wretched Hag going to be picked up on the opposing team here. Not going to be getting it with a Kraken. Well, excuse me, Kraken was banned. So, bans the Kraken, then picks it there himself. I'm all kinds of confused. But on the other side, Excellent has Ophelia, Master of Arms, and Bubbles. Definitely getting that Ophelia MOA combination. Always going to be nice to try to prevent ganks from coming out. And when you're going up against somebody like the Lodestone or Wretched Hag on the other side, and there's going to be a lot of those 1 and 2 man ganks in which an Ophelia Ultimate or a Master's Call really could be the saving grace. So like that choice coming out of Excellent. And they grab Bubbles as well, so going to have a strong solo to go with this one. Still looking for some stuns though. Really probably need some lockdown coming out here.
Yeah, I mean, overall, they have very good synergy between the three heroes that they got. Bubbles is hard to kill. They got the Master Arms Ophelia on top of that. But also, if you just look at it in team fights, Bubbles sets up the goo very perfectly. It's really good between Bubbles and Master Arms, so we can set up the goo and Ophelia minions together with Master Arms is just known really, really good. So I really like the lineup that they got going for themselves. I think it's going to be hard for the Hellborn to force those early game team fights, even though they do have Tempest, Lodestone, and Hag. I feel like they're just going to melt, and they're not going to be able to burst through the early heals, unless they pick even more damage now, which is the only way they can go with it.
Yeah, pick up like a support Pyromancer or something, and then grab a really heavy damage dealer, your Prisoner, Devourer, somebody there in the middle lane, or even maybe like the Pebbles, who's dropped off significantly since the nerfs were applied onto that hero about a month ago or so now. Really dropped off a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think Ravenor is just a better hero than Pebbles right now. He provides more late game. He basically does the same thing Pebbles does in terms of burst damage. Yeah, it has to do with the nerfs, of course. But I think Ravenor would be a pretty good option for them. However, they would be very magic damage tilted if they went for that kind of a lineup, and that could come to hurt them as well. I just really like the three heroes from the Legion team right now.
Yeah, I think that they've had a very good early selection, and Excellence drafting has always been all right. It's never really been their downfall, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be playing which of these heroes as well. Since you do have Pee-wee and Nox, they both do normally play that carry role. They've been kind of experimenting with Nox more on an initiator. Yesterday he had a Bubbles game where he did extremely well on Bubbles as a suicide mid player, and then they allowed Pee-wee to be playing the carry. So it's going to be interesting to see which ones they do finish off the team. And both teams taking a lot of time here in the second banning phase. Rally, Tort, Glacius, Corrupted Disciple, and Prisoner all being banned out. I really like the Corrupted Disciple ban going out there from the Mass Muchachos, because that's one that both Nox and Pee-wee love to play, and Excellent in general loves quite a bit. I'm a little bit worried that Dampier's still on the board, though.
Yeah, I mean, Dampier, usually you don't need to be that afraid of him when teams like junglers. He's really that scary hero when you're running two duel lanes. When you can send your supports into the jungle and just start stacking. When the jungler's on the board, yeah, Dampier's still fantastic, he's great. But he doesn't quite have that same snowball factor where I think when we ran it with two duel lanes, Fabelli had something crazy like 150 CS in 10 minutes. Or not 10, or like in 14 minutes or something like that. And it was absolutely insane. When you run a jungler, you can't quite do it the same thing, so not too scary of a hero when a team has already picked junglers.
Yeah, and in this case, they're not going to go ahead and pick up that Dampier. They're going to grab a Grinex instead, and this is one that Lions has tried out a little bit. People have been talking in the shadows just a little bit about maybe how good this hero could be in the suicide lane, and maybe we're going to get to see that opportunity right now. Master of Arms could very well pair up with another hero in the short lane, then run Suicide mid Bubbles, and I think that's what it's going to be. I'm seeing Forsaken Archer, Master of Arms short here with a Suicide Grinex and Suicide mid Bubbles. What do you think about that one, Aiden?
I'm not actually sure. I remember back when QSQ were still playing, and there was Nox and Style were on the same team. They would run their fair share of Forsaken Archer dual lanes in the middle lane. I haven't actually seen FA be played since then, pretty much. So it's really hard for me to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it in mid and let Bubbles go for the short lane against Hag, or I mean against Lowstone. Sorry. But yeah, no, they did go for Ravenor on the Hellborn team. So they got a lot of burst damage, but it's very, very magic damage tilted. So it's gonna be easy to counter it. BKBs is gonna do a ton on the Legion side. Unfortunately, they only really have one real BKB hero, which is Forsaken Archer. Pew on Ophelia, by the way, and Fine on Master of Arms.
Yeah, it has been Pew for the most part playing the junglers here relatively recently, but in the past, Fine had been holding him down. And Fine for a while known as one of the best junglers. Tempest and Warbeast really his specialties, but Pew loves the Tempest, Pew loves the Ophelia, and we'll see what he's got. And both these teams now going to be going in with similar laning setups, but a lot more early aggressive potential, I feel like, over here on the Hellborn side. I'm a little bit worried about this Forsaken Archer and her early game vulnerability.
Well, she's a really strong early game team fighter if she has the front line to really stay up front, which is something that Team Excellent really doesn't have. And I feel like you kind of need to have that bulky hero to stay up front when you're running a hero like Ophelia. You want to be able to take those team fights. You want to be able to like just truck down the other team. And right now, if the Hellborn team poses a defense, it's going to be really hard for them to stand up and just hit the tower. Because the only hero they really have is FA. And FA is going to be vulnerable, as you said. So I'm not really quite sure. I don't really like the Garnex pick from them, to be honest.
No.
He is an effective hero in the right lineups, but I don't feel like this is one of those.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if he will be able to pull this one off or not. Stacked a little bit of regen, and I mean, if you're not feeling like he's going to be effective in this lineup, what kind of a lineup really does a Grinnik synergize with?
Well, honestly, you want to have an easy time roaming middle. So ideally, I think you would want to have like something like NG as a support, where it's like he just makes roaming to mid lane so easy. But in terms like I don't really play Grinnik. We'd rather just run a different hero. Drunken Master, we just think he's like a better version and much more useful.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I don't really know what you would want to run Grinnik with. It's more so the fact that Grinnik is taking the spot of what usually is a tanky melee strength hero on the suicide lane that can stand up front, that can be there hitting the tower together with the minions. And that's the reason I don't really like it in the draft that they've got. Otherwise, I feel like he can probably do what a Grinnik normally does anyways in terms of the early game.
Yeah.
They don't really need his carry potential, and I don't really know what he provides
so
too much.
If you had a Kraken in the short lane, or if you had some kind of a strength hero in the middle lane, then you'd be a little bit more okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I can definitely see how that could work out, but going up against Wretched Hag here, I think that they are going to be relatively even, but it's going to come down to a lot of player skill. Bassets will be able to put out a lot of damage on Grinnik once he gets some decent levels here, and he should by all means get those levels. So Luna could be in some trouble. Auto attack going out. There's the charge shot. Forsaken Archer is going to get the volley, but really good sidestep coming in from Starzors. Probably just saved his life.
Yeah. A little bit of a mistiming there. You should never miss your volley in a stun. So maybe not quite in position. But yeah, the Starzor is really smart play there. He ate through the trees where he found himself caught in a really, really bad position and managed to get out of there. But yeah, anyways, they did set up the dual lane with FA middle. This is going to be Lowstone some space. I really don't like that decision, to be honest, because I feel like Lowstone is just such a useless hero if you shut him down early on. And the only way that he really does anything is when he's in a 1v1 lane. So, and I don't, like, Bubbles isn't a hero that will crush a Lowstone by any means. So, it's kind of an interesting choice of lanes from Excellent.
Yeah, it is. I definitely expected that Bubbles to be there mid. That's where I've seen Nox really thrive. Or excuse me, oh, okay, so it is Pee-wee on Bubbles, not Nox on Bubbles. So yesterday they had Nox there, and he had like a 450 gold per minute. Bubbles game is Forsaken Archer will take a lot of damage. The stun gonna go out right there. A nice body block, but it's not enough. Power throw comes in, and Starzors picks up the Bloodlust kill. So the Massive Muchachos looking to put themselves in a good position early.
Yeah, and this is really why you don't see dual range lanes middle unless they have an MOA farming together with a really, really strong support next to them. Because it's so easy for these melee gankers, melee strength heroes that do a lot of damage to just burst them down. They don't have a lot of HP, and they're standing far up front trying to get CS, and it's really easy for them to just initiate. and they're getting punished for it. Usually you would expect a double range to be able to do really, really good against a melee plus range, but it just doesn't work that way when you have such strong strength heroes that do so much damage.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, and that Ravener is showing exactly why right there. So excellent. Their laning choices may be coming back to hurt them a little bit. This gives rune control over to the side of the Master Muchachos as well. They grab an illusion rune, while Forsaken Archer is still yet to grab a bottle. Chose to go the Soul Scream ring in the stats earlier on instead. Ophelia's coming in, walks right on top of a Ward of Sight, so really interesting Ward of Sight here from Starzors. They're going to try for this one. There's the crippling volley, but shouldn't be able to finish it. Yeah, Ophelia way too far back.
Yeah, there's just no way he's going to get a gank off of that Ward right there. It's a really, really smartly placed Ward, and it's what he almost died for, so it's really, really doing a lot of work. It's showing the middle lane, gives him a little bit of vision, but more importantly, it shows Ophelia's movement.
Now, Wretched Hag up top. How's she looking against Grinnex? Currently 15-5 for Grinnex as opposed to 12-3, so as long as the regen is there, Grinnex has very good damage, and with this hatchet, is able to get a decent amount of CS, although he misses one right there. And already with a bottle coming out, I think Bassett's is going to continue having a really good time. The Shadow Step damage here, excuse me, the Nether Strike after Shadow Step is actually a lot of damage, so look forward to maybe seeing Wretched Hag take a ton, and if she's not careful, could even die.
Yep, Hag just missed 4 CS under the tower. That's really unacceptable. But no, Grinnex is doing really good in the laning phase, and that's usually why you want to pick a hero like Grinnex or Drunken Master for us. He just crushes his lane, and that's exactly what Bassett's is doing, and that's really important. When people pick heroes like Hag that are really not the best laners, you need to exploit that, and that's what Excellent did through that pick. It's just more so when it gets to the mid game that I think it could come back to bite them. But it's really important that they're winning the solos.
Yeah, it certainly is. Middle lane Ravener taking a lot of damage. He's going to port forward, and Stormblades are there. Nice Emerald Lightning, and it will finish off little Master of Arms. Forsaken Archer trying to man up right here. I don't know about that one. 2 more autos would have finished her, but didn't have the space for the final auto attack. So Excellent is really not doing well here in the middle lane. Forsaken Archer already on just 17-4 CS as compared to 24-5, and they're down 2 hero kills. This is looking really rough for Excellent in mid.
Yeah, definitely. But they're making up for it in the side lanes, which is really, really important. That's really... Right now, it's basically... Each team is winning 2 lanes. Tempest farms fast with Ophelia, and they're winning middle for Hellborn. So it's kind of 2-1 lanes for each side. It'll be interesting to see what they can do with it. Normally when it's like this, it comes down to, well, who gets the Blink Dagger first and is able to do the most. And that's really Ravenor. He's the key hero to the Hellborn lineup. He is the guy that will start snowballing. He's the one that will go for kills and be the tanky hero that stands up front when they want to go for pushes. So I think this is really good. Hellborn team is happy with the trades that they're getting right now. Getting Ravenor farmed, shutting down the opposing carry is really, really good for them. But if Bubbles is able to do a lot of work with counter ganks, it might not be as good as they might think it is.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it absolutely made sense. I mean, Grinnex and Bubbles both have a lot of counter gank potential, especially when they hit level 6, and with both of them being in solos and doing relatively well so far, I think that those ganks could be coming out relatively soon. In fact, Grinnex hitting level 6, dodges a Bat Blast. Masera really reaching for that one. He is going to go for the top rune here, and we'll find a Luna. Ball Lightning going to be going out. Grinnex in trouble, and Bassett's is going to be taken out. That was a really well-placed Ball Lightning from Don Juano. Forsaken Archer trying to put out some damage. Bubbles is here. Kelpfield going to be coming in, and there's the Shell Surf. Song of the Sea finishes off a Luna. Ravener going to hit an Invis rune to dodge. And, oh, okay, he's turning around onto Forsaken Archer. Oh! Survives at 1 HP?
Was it really 1 HP?
It was 1 or 2, yeah, because he regened to 3 by the time I could click.
Oh, wow.
And get sent
Yeah, I was
home.
going to say, that's a really manly man-up. That was a really manly man-up. I don't think he had a skill point in his ulti yet. I'm not sure if he was 6. But that might just have cost him the kill, because he didn't skill it up fast enough.
Oh, rough. Yeah, would have gained some damage after the first auto attack. In fact, 3 damage, to be exact.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Oh no, that's real rough like, and well, in any case, doesn't get the kill right there. Lodestone started channeling the Shadowstorm, but stopped, canceled it immediately in the bottom lane as Bubbles was able to TP on out of there.
Yep. Anyways, they did use a lot of heroes on the Legion side. They pulled pretty much every hero they had to the middle lane, and they still got a worse trade than the Hellborn did. Hag got a little time to recover. Lodestone got some free farm down in bottom, and it was overall just really good for the Hellborn team. They got a Grenix trade for Luna at the end of the day, and they're continuing to just really win this middle lane hard. Continue rune control, and this could lead to kills. As soon as they get runes, they should have an easy time finding kills, and if they're able to shut down the Grenix, where the bubbles may be, that's basically game. Like, that's all they got running for them. Oh my god.
Oh wow, Bubbles is gonna survive. Pee-wee manning up right there, around 10, 12 HP or so. Oh, these are some close kills here, Insania, but in any case, Pee-wee mans up, gets the kill. Kind of shows you why he's a fan favorite. He definitely has the balls to make some plays like that sometimes. Kind of a risky player.
Yeah. Anyways, Tempest sitting at 300 GPM. That's not really bad, but I mean, yeah, I would honestly expect a little bit better.
Oh, they're gonna get a Luna here in the middle, and she is gonna go down now. Grenix gets the stun, and the Illusory Assault is gonna be going off right here with the auto attacks. They might be able to finish off Ravener. Nether Strike, no, not gonna commit to it. Afraid of the Ball Lightning that was gonna be up in a few seconds. So they do let Ravener escape. Master Muchacho still double the hero kill score at 8 minutes into this game.
Yep. And Tempest, I was gonna say, he's been free farming the jungle, not really rotating around too much, and I'm really a little bit surprised about his level and his GPM. I think it could have been a lot higher. Should have been sitting around 50 higher. When you look at the top tier players like Minuts and when they're jungling Tempest and just get absolute free farm without any wards in the jungle or anything, they sit around that 350 mark. So not really having the best performance, but he's still doing good enough. Oh wow, I missed that.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty extensive gank down there. Bubbles and Ophelia with a couple of Skeleton Kings set that one up, but Lodestone survived long enough. Grenix had the cutoff. Able to get in there and hit him with the last auto attack behind the tower. So, good kill right there, and trading towers now. Long lane for long lane here.
Yeah, I don't know, they backed out for TPs for some reason on the Hellborn team, but it doesn't look like they're going down. Oh, Tempest TP's down actually. Alright, so they're gonna try and defend it. They probably have Glyph up and wanna go for the knight.
Weren't able to get into position fast enough, I guess. And Bubbles is gonna go for a dive. Oh, this is a big bait. Tempest is gonna be coming around the backside right here. Glacial Blast already going out. Aluna will jump, finishes off one. The Elemental Void is available. Will use it right here. And Shatterstorm gonna be charged up. Ophelia in some serious trouble. Might get the creep as well. And yes, they certainly will. So Master Muchachos, 10 minutes into this game, they've got a pretty serious resource advantage.
Yeah, they're looking really good, and honestly, like, they have the right heroes to do this. Master Arms is not level 6 yet, so the Master Arms Ophelia combo hasn't really kicked in. And I really think they have the amount of burst to just eat through every single one of these heroes on the Legion team. They don't have a single like bulky hero to take any of the bursts, so they're just gonna continue to go for these team fights, I hope, and continue going for ganks. Just farm up the Tempest, get the BKB and Blink. I would love to see that instead of an Astrolabe this game, because there is no real counter to him. He's gonna have easy times getting his ultis off, because they have a kind of a collapse team. Vernix will jump in, Bubbles will jump in. Master of Arms and Ophelia are really not that important. If he can just kill those two that are gonna jump in, save his carry, and get easy ultis off. I would really like to see BKB and Blink on Tempest.
Yeah, I think that certainly would be interesting. Get those big full duration ultimates off. But we'll have to see. That choice can be coming down quite a bit further down the line. But in any case, the Master Muchachos, we'll see if they're going to be able to capitalize on this momentum and keep it up. Right now, 4 players already in the middle lane here. Team Excellent. Looks like it's going to be 5. They're really starting the pub train here and committing to this one. Meanwhile, there is going to be counter push from Lodestone in the bottom. Free farm on Wretched Hag up top. And will M8M try to defend?
They definitely should not. They have, honestly, with the way the game is going, they have late game. I feel like they should just dodge and trade towers. Wait for Tempest ult, don't take any risky fights.
Ball Lightning goes in there, they lose the tower. Glacial Blast gonna be going out right here. Grenix is going hard, the Illusory Assault doing a lot of damage. Lodestone gonna get in there with a big Shatterstorm. Bubble's gonna be going down immediately. Ophelia in some trouble. Lodestone and Ravener both taking a lot of damage. Huge Bat Blast coming out the backside there. Ravener does go down. Hag gonna be trying to finish off one more perhaps. Grenix is running as fast as his little Grenix legs can take him. And he is out of there. So it ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange, but Lodestone Ravener for the Ophelia Bubbles. the resource lead still reads in favor of M8M, but Grinix is looking to change that one. And with the Shadow Step, a couple Nether Strikes, Luna is going to go down.
He could go for one more.
Yeah, he might get this Tempest if he turns around, but...
Nope, man down. No, but I mean, I really don't like that play. Like, they were really far ahead. They could have just traded tower for tower. Instead, they give them a 2-for-2 hero kill and a tower kill middle for nothing in return. I'm not really sure, like, that the teamfight just was not theirs to take. Nox got a huge ulti off, double volley with a double ulti. And this is when Forsaken Archer is strong. Even without farm, she does a ton of damage at this point. And they really don't want to let her recover. And the only way for her to recover is through those hero kills. So, and assists, whatever, teamfight gold. So just don't take the fights, dodge the fights, get your items up, and fight with black holes. Tempest did go for push items, which I really don't like. They just want to dodge and go for late game.
Yeah, that's kind of the same page that I'm on right here, but Mass Muchachos, they've been an up-and-coming team for a while now, fighting their way through gold, made it into diamond 2 cycles ago. They've retained their position there, and have definitely been looking strong. I mean, they've even been winning some of their matches against these mid-tier teams, like your Justice League and your Team Excellent, your like 6-7 teams. And so it's going to be interesting to see.
I wouldn't call them mid-tier, but...
What?
I wouldn't call them mid-tier. I would call those guys like they're high-tier teams.
Lower high-tier, yeah, like I guess. It's hard. Like for me,
like I mean mid-tier sounds just rude. Like,
sorry,
ECX
I mean I'm saying like 6 or 7. Like for me, Stay Green and Lions are like number 1 and 2. Then you got like TMSR and IG that are like 3, 4, and then you got like Justice League and Excellent that come in right after that. So. All right. That's kind of like, that's why I'm saying like mid-tier. I don't know. I'm not defending myself to you anymore, and Sadia. I'm done. Your opinion's invalid. Any case, Grinix, he's trying to set up a kill up top. Will spot out Tempest, but they know that Wretched Hag is here. There's the Shadow Step into the Nether Strike. Charge Shot is there with the Fork Lightning as well. Bubbles comes in with the Shell Surf. Song of the Sea not needed. Bat Blast going off once more. There's the Sonar Skin, but Wretched Hag in a lot of trouble. Has another blink here in 1 second. Power Supply blinks away, but the Kelp Field kills her. Double tap coming in for Pee-wee, and that's a pretty big kill.
They're kind of throwing right now. There's no need for them to be making any of these. Oh, wow.
They're going to try to turn around. Oh, Power Throw comes in! And now Grinix trying to turn around and man up. I don't think that's going to happen. The Emerald Lightning going off. Grinix is invisible. Ophelia is here as well. They're going to try to turn this one around once more. The Electric Discharge going off and doing some damage, so not able to finish up Grinix, but that's a big triple stun and Power Throw. Just not enough damage to finish it all off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like the decision making from both these teams are kind of weird. They got a double kill top, just back off, go region up. Instead, they kind of stick around, they want to farm a little bit, and then they get caught and killed by the Ravenor. And I think when you talk about like top tier teams and high tier teams, I'm gonna bring that up a bunch now, just because I brought it up.
Thanks,
I think the big difference is these kinds of things, the decision making you make as a team, where the top tier teams, they will know how long they can stay, but these high tier teams are not always making the right call there. And it comes to punish them. Like, I think Max and Chachos, they just dodge team fights and just split push, which is basically what their lineup wants to do at this point. They get ahead, they fight the 5v5 fights, but they don't take these 3v3 scrimmages and just split push and farm. Get to the late game. You have a BKB Tempest ulti that they cannot prevent in any way, except for Ophelia minions, which is like, it's not really a reliable way to stop a Tempest ult. Because it takes time for them to run up, get the Skeleton Grip off, and on top of that, it's RNG based. You need to have a Skeleton King to start with. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like split push and farm is the way to go for them.
Lodestone wants this kill middle lane. Yeah, he's gonna try to get this one. Shadowstorm comes in, and there's the portal key. Rocket Troll is gonna connect. The face smash. So good kill right there. Grinix trying to run away up top. He's not gonna be so successful. And M8M with 2 really big pickups right there. They're back into a very firm resource advantage. And they're continuing to be able to make their way into this later stage of the game. Not taking team fights, not defending against towers, but still finding some kills.
Yep, and this is exactly the way they want to play. They want to be pushing lanes and dodge and just going for hero kills. If they can continue doing that, that's great. There's really no response that Excellent has. Their Forsaken Archer is not nearly farmed enough. She's not going to get farmed enough, because that hero needs like 4 items to really become a carry. And at that point, Hag will already be just as fat as she needs to be. She'll have that cheap stake, they'll have the initiation advantage through both Ravenor and Hag and Lodestone. And on top of that, they got the Black Hole whenever they need it. So overall, just slow-paced game from this point onward, with just hero kills whenever they get their ultis up. Definitely in favor of Mas Muchachos, and it's a win if they do that. They cannot lose. Just dodge fights, side push, stack camps. All you gotta do. It's so simple.
Yeah, they've got a pretty simple game plan, but like you said, that's when experience comes down, is having a game plan and executing that game plan. Very big differences there, and especially when it's such an important match. Mas Muchachos knowing that even one win right now over Team Excellent puts them in a pretty decent position to actually advance to the death matches. So we'll see, and I actually believe that there might be a change on the tiebreaker. Originally it was talked about that tiebreakers would be settled with kill-death ratio, but talking with some of the admins there, it's a possibility that it might be going to actual tiebreaker matches in the event of a head-to-head tie, as Forsaken Archer is in trouble up top. Turns it around with Lodestone, misses the piercing arrows.
Red snipe coming.
And Red Throw not going to connect. Bubbles is there as well. But here's Ravener, ball lightning in the couple of... Oh, the auto attack's not going to be enough. Good defensive master's call. Gridx is here. So Ravener going to go down as well as Lodestone. Now Luna going to be left for dead as well. Gridx should be able to finish her off. Hag with a good bat blast, but the good blink forward from Bubbles, and Aluna is dead. So 3 hero kills just like that, and Excellent has closed up that resource advantage quite a bit.
Yeah, like, I just don't understand why they go for this kind of play. They get a tower kill bottom. They could have easily just kept on farming and pushing. Tempest was pushing middle. Instead, they give away 3 hero kills for 1. And they got the carry, sure, but it's just not worth it. They're giving Excellent away back into the game. If you look at the golden XP, it really is reflecting their plays, and they're just not... I just don't know. They're buying, like, items to farm, and then they're fighting with it instead of just farming. It feels like their inexperience is really, really hurting them right now. This was a 1 game. If it was a more experienced team, I feel.
Yeah, they were definitely in that kind of a position. Tempest able to TP on out in the middle lane, so he does pick up that portal key now. Maybe going to be working toward a shrunken head a little bit further on, but yeah, like you said, experience definitely matters here, and it doesn't come down to the positions that you're in. It comes down to what you can make with it, and a lot of times these inexperienced teams aren't necessarily able to translate a gigantic lead into a closer. We saw it in that last game between Justice League and Lions, where Justice League probably both games had a potential to win, but weren't able to close it out in the first. Took them a very long time to do so in the second. And Rabbit are going to be going right here for attempted kill on Bubbles. Hag helps out with the Sonar Scream, and she does go down. Now Grinek's going to be in kind of an awkward position. He's going to TP out. Lowstone with the Rocket Drill. Dr. Obvious, unfortunately, with a bad placement on the Rocket Drill, obviously spotted out the Grinex, but just didn't execute properly.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a really good kill, and they're going for tower push bottom. I like this play from them a lot. That's a really good kill. Like, when they kill Bubbles, as soon as they see Bubbles on the map or kill him, that just means they got all the freedom in the world to do whatever they want. Grinix, though a very powerful hero, he's kind of past the time where he can run around and solo kill people really easily. And Forsaken Archer, Ophelia, and Master Arms are just not very mobile. So, as soon as they see Bubbles, what they need to do as a team right now, like the conversation that's going on in their team, is just call out positioning of Bubbles. As soon as you spot Bubbles on the map, you start saying, Bubbles bottom, go farm top and mid. Bubbles top, farm middle and bottom. And as soon as they kill him, they go for tower pushes.
Yeah.
He is like the only hero that matters. Just as long as they're doing that right, they're gonna do great.
Yeah, so wise words right here from Captain. I always love having captains on it. It's great when I have Sender or Riser on, but especially with either you or Swindlemounds, it's always interesting to get the perspective of the captain on what their strategy should be. And all right, now it looks like 4 players from Master Muchachos. They're looking to really find somebody and look for this kill. Oh, Ophelia is gonna be that kill. There's the Rocket Drill coming in. Shadowstorm is there as well. Barrier Idol gonna be going off. That won't save you, Ophelia. She does go down, as does the Minotaur, and now the Skeleton King going to fall as well. With Ophelia and her minions dead, is this now time for push?
Of course, whenever you get a pick off at the edge of the game, this is kind of like, the mid game is always like where numbers matter. XP, very important. But gold is starting to kick in. Gold is really starting to become a factor because people are finishing up their first tier of items. And if you're fighting 4 vs 5, easy fights, always gonna go for them. Oh, Courier. Oh, Courier.
Okay.
What are you doing there?
That was
anyways, yeah.
awkward.
So definitely a good decision here to go for the tower push. Really smart response play from xCelent though. This is what you always need to do. They're down one hero, so what do? They go split push. And they're getting a lot of damage on this base tower.
They certainly are. Ravener porting back, allowing his team to clean up the tower in the middle lane, but that's probably about as best as you could hope for. Ravener going to go ahead and clean up the creep waves here, and he's got a shrunken head on the way. 300 gold to go. Tempest going to be a little over 2k away. Lodestone and Wretched Hag, I feel like they have to be a little bit careful up here. But they're sticking together, and it looks like the Legion team will just go full retreat. So both teams going to go back to farming and being pretty confident in their ability to move on forward. We'll see.
Yeah, Hag still does not have a Grimoire. I don't know. They're not farming as much as they need to be. They need to be farming a lot more and a lot faster to really secure the game. Because at this point, like, Forsaken Archer, sure, she has nothing really. Oh, wow.
That was a late offensive master's call. Otherwise, that would have been a dead Hag. Bubbles is here, though. They're going to go ahead and try to get at least one more, and Silence is going to finish him off. Grinix might be taken out here. Ophelia Hill going to be going off, and he does get the invis now, but the final auto attack is going to be enough. And now Bubbles could be in some trouble. He's got Shell Surf, or excuse me, got a Portal Key as well as a Shell Surf, but no TP. He's probably going to need to make his way over. Oh! The ball lightning. Keep in mind, this is all invisible. Like, they can't see each other like we can see them right now. Here's the courier, and he's got another push stick as well as a portal key. Needs to buy, then portal key, then TP. Perfect. This is why people love Pee-wee. There you go.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's insane. He's absolutely insane. His individual skill is there, man. Like, I feel like Mickey is going to develop into another Pee-wee, though, and that makes me really excited.
Yeah, no, Pee-wee's an absolute beast. I remember Zibe played for them at DreamHack Summer, and the way he described it is that you give Pee-wee farm, and then you unleash him, and then he will just win the game. Like, he's like Prisoner. You just unshackle him and you let him go, and he just kills everything. So I know, a really good player, and once he gets his items, he's really, really dangerous. But yeah, overall, Mass Muchachos, it feels like on an individual level, of course, like they're just not performing as well as xCelent are. And even though like they're playing so well, I feel like the Ravener player is doing a fantastic job. Like their Hag is really, really struggling, and she just isn't making the right decisions, I feel.
Oh, they're gonna try to take down Pee-wee and address the Pee-wee. Check. This is gonna be a middle tower push, or is this gonna be a Kongor?
Should be Kongor. It should definitely be Kongor. They want to drag it out. They want to go to the late game. They don't have the pressure to end the game. This is something that's really important. When you have late game, and there's like no way of Hellborn losing the game. Like if Tempest gets BKB, Hag gets her next item. She gets her Sheepstick and BKB. And Ravenor is just as strong as a carry as Hag. Like they got two very, very strong semi-carries. They just need to drag out the game. Get their items, get a token. They cannot lose a fight with that. And it's just the right decision. Don't go for base unless you have to.
Yeah, gonna take the Kongor, draw it out like you said, and good decision here. As long as they can actually take the big guy down. They're certainly trying, but he's making it quite hard for them. Lodestone might actually get killed here. No, Ravener somehow steals the aggro back. Lodestone gonna choose to TP right now. I think that's probably the situation in the event that he needs the team fight, needs to be regened up. But Ravener's taking a lot of damage too. Hag has not been here the entire time, putting in those big Grimoire autos, so taking a little bit longer, but they will secure this one, even if it means Tempest has to be in their face tanking it.
Yep. Alright, so Hag, finally, she gets the token. This means that she could go for kind of a grave play and go straight for a Sheepstick. Be a little bit more greedy if they want to try and end with a token, go for a base push with it, which you're probably gonna do, because like, all of these slightly lower tier teams feel like, oh, we gotta use the token. It's not just good enough to get 7 minutes of free farm with it. So I would like to see something like that. Go for a little bit more of an aggressive item, hopefully Sheepstick. I think it can do them a lot of good. F-Base closing in on a BKB, which is like getting to the farm where she wanted to be now. She kind of wanted the BKB on top of that 2,000 gold and the Geometer's Bane to really be able to compete with these two carries. Because right now, I feel like she can't even man up against one of them. Both Hag and Ravenar are going to out-damage the FA.
Yeah, she's one of those heroes with a very big timed upkeep, or excuse me, build-up time. She definitely needs a certain amount of farm, and that one is quite high when compared with other carries, although she does have the potential to farm extremely well. Right now, she's only at 440 gold per minute. Probably needs a little bit more gold per minute or just some more time to actually start hitting very hard. But once she gets into that later game stage, you throw on maybe a Savage Mace from here, maybe either a Genjuro or a Wing Bow, and then plus that Shrunken Head. She will start putting out a ton of damage. So Master Chachos really need to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, honestly, we've been talking a lot about the Hellborn, but like considering the fact that FA is 0 and 4, she had a very hard time in the laning phase, and she's not gone for farming item. Like Nox gets a lot of shit for going light brand on every single hero.
Yeah.
But like he is farming really well. He's sitting at 460 GPM with no real farming tool, like except for the Geometer's Bane. He's doing a really good job.
It certainly is. Grinix getting dusted out right here. Will they use the Elemental Void? And Rocket Troll coming in, but they simply don't have the potential to carry him down. I don't know. Do you think that they should have used the Elemental Void right there?
Well, Beef, as I said before, whatever it takes to drag out the game. If Grinix is down, the Legion are not going to go for a push. They're going to sit back passive. They're not going to do anything. And that just gives them more time to farm. And that's, yeah, of course they should use the Elemental Void. Any kill, regardless of how much resources they use, in this kind of a game is worth it. They just gotta get a kill that gives them a bunch of time for free farm, get control of the enemy jungle, do something with it, get a tower. So definitely, just use your skills. Don't be afraid of like overcommitting to a kill. Like it's not possible when you got late game.
Yeah, so making a little bit of mistakes right there. Once more, mistakes of inexperience. I believe they even lost a tower in bottom lane. They certainly did, so that resource advantage is closing up once more. And that one, it doesn't matter as much as long as xCet doesn't take the lead, like a significant lead in that. But they're allowing Forsaken Archer time to farm. She does have the dreaded Geometer's Bane Shrunken Head now. Once she gets a damage item up, might be a little bit worried, especially if the Master Muchachos are not able to step up their own levels of farm, or at least take some significant inroads into this game.
Yeah, like she gets a Savage Mace on top of it, and she's gonna start dealing damage. It's gonna be like you're playing as a complete different team in the team fights. Bubbles isn't really making any progress in terms of items, though. Neither is Grinix. You got a BKB now. I'm not really sure what you buy on that hero from this point onward, but I know, like, if he was a Drunken Master right now, I could tell you right now how good of a hero he would be. But I'm not really sure about Grinix, so I can't tell you. But Ophelia is getting a lot of farm too. Maybe we'll see a Storm Spirit. Just see that overpowered combination of a really farmed hard carry together with Storm Spirit and Sendback once FA gets to that point.
I feel like Grinix, with the Ghost Marches, he does put out a lot more damage. This makes his solo ganking carry potential a little bit stronger, but we haven't really seen that out of him. He's sitting here at 2, 3, and 6, has had a little bit of involvement, but he's a hero with an extremely low base attack time. If you actually build attack speed and agility items on him, he will start attacking extremely fast and can carry quite well into the late game. But unfortunately with the Ghost Marchers, and then from here, I don't know what item he's going to go, but probably not going to be going those items that I'd like to see if they wanted to put him as more of a carry potential. If you're going to be a little bit more of that initiator, stunner, maybe something like a Demonic Breastplate wouldn't actually be the worst thing on him. Could certainly be interesting.
I mean, Demonic is just one of those items you have to have on your team. And looking at their other heroes, it's definitely the key. There's really no other hero that can buy it. But yeah, no, here we go. Tokens running out. Guess what? They're going for a base push. Who would have thought? I really don't think that that's the play they need to make. I feel like they could have just used the token to secure map control and then use that to get really far ahead. Unfortunately, they didn't really do it. And now Grinix is counter pushing top lane. We saw Bubbles do it earlier in the game. And it's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was already at about half-life before, and Ravena gonna go and misses the Pole Lightning. Oh, it's time to run. Hellborn team, get out of there. I don't care if you have the token. It is time to run. We'll keep back here from Lodestone. Bubbles gonna get the Kelp Field under 4. Disaster coming in. There's a nice Mental Void. They're gonna be able to take out Bubbles, actually. Tempest might have just saved the day. Ravena gonna be coming in with the stun right here. Ophelia gonna be taking a lot of damage, but Ravena gonna be going down, as does Luna. Tempest has to full out run. Wretched Hag is getting out of there as well. She does manage to blink away for now. Lodestone is TPing out, so a nice buyback from Bubbles, and they were able to turn that one around a little bit, but they needed to get out of there faster as soon as Ravena flubbed that initiation.
Yeah, Tempest actually caught Ophelia +2 Forsaken Archer minions, illusions in her ulti. So, I mean, maybe that explains it a little bit more why he didn't go for the Blink BKB build right away. But that's just not acceptable. You cannot teamfight like that when you're forcing it at the base. They need to have the Hag up front together with the Tempest minions, put the Ravener on the tower and just hit it down. As soon as Forsaken Archer runs up, guess what? Blink, stun, dead. And they're exposing themselves now. I think the game just swinged.
Yeah.
It's completely even now. Like, they can definitely like win the game right here. Get a Rax maybe. Tempest
No
is still
elemental
vulnerable,
void, yeah.
And yeah, they just team fight much better. And excellent. This is where it's like,
oh, Shadowstorm goes off onto 4 right there, but there's the Astrolabe heal already, and Lodestone, even with that barbed armor, taking a lot of damage, is going to get taken out right here by the Minotaur and Bubbles. Well, maybe. They're going to try to turn this around. Kelfield goes out. Bubbles is going to be taken out by a Bat Blast, but Hag going to go down as well as Lodestone. Hag did still have that token for just a couple of seconds, and she comes back up. Grinix going hard with the Shrunken Head, but now it's time for him to run. Hag going to blink forward here with the Sonar Screen, but looks like they're out of there for now. Grinix turning it around, gets a stun into the piercing arrows. The Shrunken Head from Hag not going to be enough. Eluna going to be going down as well. And Ravener being kited quite effectively. Gets the ball lightning, but he's going to get taken out. And it's still 4 players up from the Legion team. They're up against just a Tempest with no Elemental Void. The Rax are dead. They might go for a second lane.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just straight outplay from Excellent. They're just the better team. And this is, I'm looking at the Hag. I'm following her in team fights. She's just not auto attacking, and I don't know what's going on with that. Like, when you're the hard carry player of a team, if you're not dealing physical damage, you're doing something completely wrong. I just opened up the damage charts and I just swapped away right away. I didn't want to see that at all. You gotta be doing damage as Hag. Like, that was a really good Lowstone initiation. No follow up from Ravenor, no follow up from Hag. If that was one of the more experienced teams, you would see instantly the second Lowstone blinks, even before his ulti goes off, the Hag will blink in, do an auto attack, then ulti scream. That's 2 dead heroes at the start of the fight. And that's how they need to start it off. That's what they picked. They picked really bursty heroes. Like, Lowstone sets up damage for everybody else. Sure, he does a ton of damage on his own, but the big thing is he removes all armor of all sorts. So you need to be there with a follow-up, and Hag and Ravener just simply haven't been.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing to see, because I feel like they definitely could have won this game. They had it in their hands. Just a couple of really bad decisions, and now they're 1 racks down.
Yeah, 1 ranks down, and they're going up against a Forsaken Archer that's now in that extremely terrifying 550 gold per minute state. She just picked up a wing bone, so Wretched Hag's auto attack damage, Ravener's auto attack damage, no longer going to be as effective, and she's starting to hit rather hard. 225 top end damage. A Savage Macer against Juro on top of this one is going to turn her into an absolute beast. And we'll see if this game's going to get to that point, or if the Master Muchachos can try to put a stop to it, as they are going on Ravener up here. Elemental Void trying to turn it around, but Ophelia Ultimate going to be going off right here, and now Grinix will take a Bat Blast. They should be able to finish off this Grinix. He's trying to get away, and will get out of there. Master of Arms TPs. So 1 for 1, but once more, Elemental Void is gone.
Yep, Elemental Void is gone, and this is going to be an opening for the Legion team to push. FA has finished up her first damage item. But honestly, there's no need for them to do it right now. The Hellborn team is 1 racks down. Hag is not really farming fast at all. Like, this hero is just so scary when she gets an early Grimoire and just is able to take over the game. But hasn't been able to find the farm. She hasn't been growing, and it's quite sad to say, but like, a Hag with a farming item is farming slower than a Forsaken Archer was without it. And I just really don't know if they're prioritizing the farm correctly on the team, or what it has been due to. Maybe Hag has just not been trying to farm. But like, I don't know. I think Excellents are very comfortable right now. They got Nox. Nox is farm, and that seems to be their strategy a lot of the time. Just get Nox farm. And now they got Pewee as well. That's another hard carry player on the team. Like, they're loving this.
Yeah, you give them unrestricted free farm, and I don't know if anybody out there is going to be able to farm Excellent with 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4, like, really players that are able to find so much farm. Bassett's consistently finds farm there in that long lane. Fine on the secondary support. It's not uncommon for him to get into that 300 GPM territory, but a shield breaker going to be the pickup here for Grinix, so definitely not going the attack speed route. I really don't like this build on Grinix. Like, this is the one that a lot of players use, and like when I open up the guides, like, this is the one that I see there, but he does so well with attack speed, but in this case, he's going to be able to get those pokes off, and they're going to be poking pretty hard. Shield Breaker should synergize with the physical damage of FA as well, so that's always going to be nice.
Yep, and something that's kind of funny to note is like Nox has gotten 4 defensive items so far, and he's still dealing enough damage as the only source of real damage on his team. And that should never happen when you're behind. Like, I feel like just, oh god, I've said this so many times. I'm gonna say it one more time, then I'm done saying it. Split push and farm.
Oh, Token of Life might have just been ninja'd there. Lodestone gonna be going in right here. Already Tempest is dead. Lodestone gonna take a lot of damage. Shadow Storm won't go off. Wretched Hag is going to fall, and that was all in right there. Lodestone's gonna turn around, activates the Shrunken, or excuse me, that's Ravener, but vote to concede going up. They're saying, yeah, it's done right here. First one in this series gonna be going the way of Team Excellent, and well, M8M had their chances, but those chances are done.
Yeah, I mean, they had everything they needed, I feel. But yeah, good plays from Excellent. We really didn't talk about them at all, but of course, like, whenever you say that one team is doing something poorly, it's almost always because the other team is doing something well. So yeah, good job by Excellent. Master Muchachos just weren't able to close that one. And Nox got farmed enough to carry the game, basically.
It certainly did. Nearly 600 gold per minute there. 310 CS in 38 minutes. I mean, we're not talking quite 10 CS a minute yet, but it's up there. It's definitely scary, and we'll see. Now coming up with game 2, which one of these teams is going to be able to take that one home? For Master Muchachos,